manager at first and what they can do.
So here we go, analysis done, players and commentators rested, so let's get stuck into some more action with the second half of Rapid Vienna against Chelsea with Clive and Matt.
Well, we can confirm that there have been a couple of changes made by Antonio Conte at half-time. Olorena is on in place of Babarahman. Oscar has come on for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Clive wouldn't expect that to make too much difference in terms of formation. We're maybe used to seeing Olorena play on the right of defence more often than the left, but he can play at left-back too. Yes, he can, and we have seen him at left-back as well. You know, he's a guy who can play right across the back line, very, very quick and strong, and deserves a chance. You know, he's had a good couple of seasons for me, under 21 level, and certainly deserves this opportunity. I don't think it will change the formation at all. I think you're going at left-back, and Oscar will play his usual number 10 role. So it'll be interesting to see how that links up with Diego Costa for me in the next sort of 15 or so minutes, because you know, Oscar will have done that many, many times before, and I'm sure he'll want to get, if not close to Diego Costa, run beyond him as well. A couple of changes as well, as you saw for Rapid. They've swapped their goalkeeper. Richard Strybing of the 23-year-old to come on in place of Novota. For a second goal here as well. The other change in defence too, Christopher Dibon on. He's wearing number 17. Aina, by the way, wearing 34, just at the bottom of your picture now. Here's Willian. What, if anything, do we read into the fact that there have been two changes made by Antonio Conte then?
Probably nothing at all, to be honest, just a fitness thing, you know, and I think that's something that these players will relish. They'll get the opportunity to play as many minutes as they can pre-season. It's obviously better to play than to train, and they'll get more out of it as well. So I don't think it's just a question of fitness for me. I don't think there's anything to read into it from the manager's thoughts at the moment.
There's Oscar. A nice clear summer on the day back home in Brazil. Hasn't had many breaks over his short career. Flicked out to Willian. Costa's made a dart here. Shrug off Hoffman. He'll settle for a corner.
Yeah, good run as well. And again, that's when we talk about the link-up play with Oscar and Diego Costa. I've seen it many times before. They linked up well there. And Costa's won us a corner.
Willian takes it. Hoffman got his head to it. Still further cleared by Schobesberger.
It's a good ball in, and it's a good defensive header as well.
Willian once more. Strong challenge from Schrammel. Couldn't quite link up with Willian. Signed a new 4-year contract. Well, both those two did actually. Willian and Olorena in the last couple of weeks.
Just got out of position there by losing possession of the football. Could have been worse for us. John Terry does well.
How much it's going to work out in Olorena's benefit. He is one of the few academy players who are about. As I mentioned in the first half, lots of them away with that England under-19 team. Aina is too old for that himself, so he's getting a chance early on to show Antonio Conte at close quarters what he can do. Chilabodji doing well there under pressure from two.
It was one of those moments, wasn't it? Chilabodji could not afford a mistake, not only just for the nature of the game, but the manager watching on and trying to impress, but he does ever so well.
Just won the free kick here off Rahovac. Mikel. Space for Oscar, time to turn. Chilabodji. She got an 88-minute winner against Eintracht Frankfurt in his last game for Werder Bremen, Papi Chilabodji. Here's Moses now, was he fouled? Referee waves his finger no.
Well, he's close to the action, the referee, isn't he? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Lucky Victor as well, because he does a great one too, gets in beyond and unfortunate not to keep going. Good defending from Oscar, good work. There's a chance to see again, is there contact?
took the ball, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's a fair challenge.
Took a risk. Did Stefan Hoffmann. It's Costa. Touch was slightly heavy.
Yeah, again, first touch lets you down, and that will improve, as we know, as the season goes on, or pre-season goes on. Like Diego Costa.
I'm sure he will be fine. I think. So, too much in the way of goal-mouth action in the opening 5 minutes or so the second half. Still that early Joel Linton goal, giving Rapid the advantage. It's the first game in their new Allianz Stadion. They'll be trying to go to ground. Hoffmann quickly won it back, but only after Mikel had been fouled.
Tight call. I'm not too sure that much contact was made on John's ankle here. Just wanted to pinch the ball there. Oh yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Good refereeing. Was a free kick.
Chilabodji. Again, John Terry playing on the right of the two centre halves as he was in the first half. Not something we're used to seeing. Chelsea captain. Hoffmann. I wonder if there might come a point in the next 10 or 15 minutes when Rapid start to think about their league game next week and maybe make a couple of substitutions with that in mind. Last thing Mike Buskins would be for anybody to get an injury problem right on the eve of the season. Play from Pavlic, cleared away by Chilabodji.
A little bit lucky there, Chilabodji. I think he gets out of position here. Olorena chases after the ball, so there's a big space in the left-back position. Victor Moses tries to get back into that position. I think he was getting there. I just thought Chilabodji just pulled himself too far out of the centre. Just left a huge gap, but manages to close it, clear his lines just about.
There's still a fairly large number of players to come back into the Chelsea squad. Harry Cahill, Azpilicueta, Pedro Fabregas, Courtois, Hazard, and of course the new faces, Batshuayi and N'Golo Kante.
Mouth-watering thought, isn't it, all those names?
Well, N'Golo Kante is one we know a lot about, but you and I saw Batshuayi play a few times for Belgium last season and were very impressed.
Yeah, we did.
Challenging, looking for his second goal of the game.
A decent ball into him as well, isn't it? I think it's one of those balls that he knows he's not going to get to. Body for me just loses sight of him, doesn't know where he is. Goes to go outside him, cuts back inside, gives the ball in, gives him half a chance. I think he dived in trying to get some contact on it, but was never quite going to get there.
Well, 35 years old, maybe it's no surprise that Stefan Hoffmann hasn't lasted 90 minutes. He was replaced by Thomas Merck, who is a player that Rapid brought in from SK Riyadh, who come here in the first game of the league season next weekend. He arrived at Rapid in January.
Well, I guess 54 minutes in, I suppose the next 5 or 6 minutes we're going to see a few changes on both sides.
This is where commentators earn their money in pre-season.
Especially when they make 5 at the same time, Matt. Good luck with that one.
Ivanovic. 10 minutes gone second half, not sure either goalkeepers got their gloves dirty. This is Aina. want to cut in on his favoured right foot. Oscar.
The final touch just lets us down. Away from Oscar, but in the tight area. We needed to move it on first time.
Oscar playing in the number 10 position for now, something you and I have discussed in the past about how effective he could be if he was dropped back to be one of the holding midfielders. I wonder if that's crossed Antonio Conte's mind yet.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, I suppose, at the end of the day. It's for me, it's a position I'm sure Oscar could fill. But, at the moment, of course, two experienced players in there, Matic and Mikel.
And not a bad one about to come in.
And N'Golo Kante's coming as well, so maybe that position might not be available for Oscar, although me personally I feel he can play that role very, very well. The question is, how effective is he going to be as a number 10? You know, and I think if he's going to play forward, that is probably his best position. We've played him in wider positions before, and doesn't affect the game very much, drifts out of it, but can be more effective as a number 10. But obviously, again, there's going to be a few contenders for that one as well.
His tackling is so good, isn't it, Oscar, that makes you think maybe at some stage in his career he will drop back. Here come Rapid again. It's the new man Merg who was trying to find Joe Linton, who was offside by the time the ball arrived at his feet.
Probably should have made more of that, shouldn't they? Bodies forward, players in good positions. Two players run into an offside position. Joe Linton picks up the loose ball and was obviously offside.
Terry. Did not showing the same attacking intentions as they did in the early stages of the first half. They'd be more than happy to settle for this result now, of course.
Well, as a result, yeah, I mean, they're feathering their cap, won't it, and give them a huge lift going into their season next week. But in reality, you have to say, you know, it's not a proper game, as they say, but you know, it's still a feather in their cap to be beating Chelsea. Just too far forward for Costa there. He's playing one of those games, Diego Costa, where he's working so hard off the ball, but doesn't seem to get the service that perhaps a lot of his hard work deserves. Yet he's the type of guy who'll just wait around and he'll get a chance at some stage. The question is, will he finish it or not? Is it going to be a Chelsea substitution in the second half?
It's the end of John Mikel Obi's evening, and on in his place he's going to come Nathaniel Chaloba, who spent last season in Serie A with Napoli. Played 9 times, only a couple of starts in that though. As I said, he was part of the England team in the Toulon tournament as well. He's yet to make his official Chelsea debut.
Well, another player who's been part of the Chelsea family for a long time. He's been up on loan at several clubs, hasn't he? And he's been one of those bright young prospects that hasn't quite got through. So, again, opportunity today to impress a new manager, and I'm sure he'll be looking forward to it.
And I'm sure he will have noted how well his brother Trevor did for the various academy sides last season.
Well, he just miscontrols this one.
Schaub. Schensberger unable to get round Ivanovic. Djilabodji played for an hour in Vienna. There's Moses. Costa. Put the afterburners on here, maybe. Might come back Moses' way.
It's back in, that's got to be a free kick.
Joe Linton goes to ground himself, but there was absolutely no way that Terry could have won that ball in the air because he was being knocked out of his stride by the Brazilian.
Yeah, again, it's one of those, I say time and time again, it's one of those hardest things for referees if they've not played the game, whether a player's backing in or whether a player's climbing over the top. Although we see him backing in, he's not interested in even controlling the ball, you know, he's just backing in and trying to win a free kick. It was a tough one for referees, but I mean, that was blatantly obvious, that one.
This is the first of 5 games that will bring you live on Chelsea TV as the Blues prepare for the new campaign. RZ Pellets to come on Wednesday, then it's off to the US to play Liverpool in Pasadena, Real Madrid in Michigan and AC Milan in Minneapolis. This is Aina's cross. So US fixtures, part of the International Champions Cup, the now traditional curtain raiser to the season for many European clubs, has been for the Blues for the last couple of years, certainly.
After these couple of games here in Austria, I'm sure that those games will have a bit more importance on them, especially the teams Liverpool and Real Madrid that we will be playing. So these 2 games will do us the world of good, fitness-wise and also organisation-wise from the manager's point of view. He'll learn a lot from the games, from the technical side of things, but fitness-wise the players will feel a heck of a lot better when they go over to America.
It's been double sessions pretty much every day. Back at Cobham this week. Such fine margins between the teams at the top of the Premier League. Being the fittest can make a big difference. Got one back here by Willian. Options either side. Went left to Oscar, who hadn't quite read the pass.
I think the pass was just slightly overhit for him, but again, one of those situations we often talk about. As the ball ricochets around the penalty area. You know, again, fully fit and sharp and totally ready for the first Premier League game. I think we'd have scored there. 3 against 2. That's where we really do shine.
It's clever from Oscar, just stayed in play. Good forward in the direction of Schobersberger. Easy for Ivanovic to defend though. It's Willian.
Could just do with a goal, couldn't we, really? You know, just give us a little bit of a buzz, bit of a lift.
Rare example of a top-class player who started his managerial career at the bottom rung, if you like. Antonio Conte, glittering playing career, primarily with Juventus, but he started in the lower reaches of Italian football. His way up via Bari and Siena to Juventus. Really unprecedented success. Took them from successive 7th place finishes to champions 3 years in a row. It's Aina. Moses. Oscar was free. Chelsea have a corner.
Yeah, good play from Olorena initially. So Moses does well as well, and just attempting the challenge, it doesn't come in. Shea goes out for a corner, but maybe Oscar was better placed.
This will take 5th corner of the evening for the Blues. They're keeping the move alive. It's a good ball as well. It's Willian. Gilabodji. Think about hitting this. Oh, it's a good ball in for Costa. There was no flag there. Just mistimed his jump, maybe with John Terry putting him off.
Yeah, he's just taking it off of John Terry as well, hasn't he? JT was better placed, although from a centre-forward's perspective, you can understand him wanted to take this on. Yeah, I think John Terry was actually offside, so he did the right thing, Diego Costa, in trying to steer this on target. Good play by Gilabodji as well.
Far the closest Chelsea have come to scoring in the second half.
Maybe that might just give us a bit of a lift, perhaps.
It's going to give it a run off Costa. The substitute managed to deal with it. Winding up the long throw here. Fooled everybody. So for Schönsberger to deal with, though.
No real targets in the middle for a long throw, is there? Centre backs haven't gone in. It was good play, good little run by Oscar. That would have been good link up, but Diego misses his touch. But you know, all these small little things that will be a lot better after they've had a couple of games.
Chalobah. Chilibogi. Here's Moses. Quick and direct. It's a good ball too. Oh, it was almost put into his own net there by Thomas Schrammel. Costa was hoping to get on the end of it. In the end, Chelsea get another corner.
A great run again by Victor Moses. Gets himself into super position. It's a delightful ball across the face of the goal. 3 or 4 he's put in today now, Victor Moses.
Wien's whip, header more up than away. It's from Grahovac. Puts it behind for another.
As always, you know, we said their crosses and deliveries from dead balls haven't been the best. Probably neither of ours, but the more you take, you hope the better you get. And we'll see a good delivery here.
Terry coming in on it, just too high for him. Now has Schönsberger got the pace to get away from Moses here.
Actually done well, hasn't he, Schönsberger? Should never have got away with that and kept control of the ball with 2 players around him. Victor Moses, who is very quick, just about stays with him.
Sure. 3/4 of the game gone now. Chelsea have been dominant in terms of possession for the last few minutes, but been just enjoying keeping the ball to themselves for a while. So 3 changes so far made by Antonio Conte. I would assume that the plan is to give a couple 20 minutes or so, so I'll see some more substitutions before too long. Blackman and Delac, the 2 goalkeepers, and it's Traore, Kennedy, Remy, Miazga, Hector, Atsu and Cuevas, remaining Chelsea substitutes. Costa worked tirelessly, often for little reward.
He has worked hard, and I think that's something, you know, we can look forward to the beginning of the season. A very fit, sharp Diego Costa is going to be so important for us.
Here's Joel Linton. Now Schaub. Never struck it with much conviction.
Yeah, John Terry just tries to keep himself as big as possible here and hopefully get something on it as we give the ball away cheaply. Doesn't give the attacker a lot sure, but a lot to aim at. Just tries to drag it across and fire it into that bottom corner. Misses the target.
The 21 international for Austria is Schaub, one of the bright hopes of the academy here at Rapid. They tend to produce a high number of their own players. First half, they're struggling to get many of them in the Austria senior setup, and that might change how poor they were in France. Here's Moses, has had a good game for Chelsea. Now Oscar. This is Nathaniel Chalobah, beaten away by the goalkeeper, out only as far as Moses. It was a good hit from Chalobah. Flag is up though.
Yeah, flags up for offside, but a good strike by Chalobah there, bang on target. To say decent height for the keeper. from that sort of distance, but still the save has to be made. He's done well to push it out of the danger area. Well worked as well. You know, we moved the ball a lot better there, a lot crisper, a lot sharper, which enabled Chalobah to find the space to be able to drive the ball towards goal.
Around the corner by Oscar, looking for Costa. This one was switched on. Begovic hasn't had a save to make since half-time. Ivanovic. Got himself in a bit of a tangle there, and Rapid have pinched it back. Intention was to play that to Joel Linton, but it was a very poor cross, easy for Djilobodji to defend. It's Chalobah. Spread out to Moses, more changes on the way.
Lucky there, Victor Moses has a great first touch, just sits up nicely, takes it in the pit of his stomach. If his second touch takes him away from the defender, he was overcommitted. Great opportunity. Now Rapid will make another change.
It's the goal scorer who is departing. Really cool finish that from a tight angle from Joel Linton. And he gets a good hand as he makes way for the Spaniard Tommy. He's been playing in Austria for 7 years now. This is his second season here at Rapid.
Joel Linton's looked bright, hasn't he? He's looked decent enough. Diego Costa's coming off as well. 70 minutes, good work. He's worked hard tonight. That's good play by him.
Yeah, no wonder he's being applauded by those on the bench. He's really put the effort in. Kennedy and Loic Remy are the two players who've come on for Chelsea. Willian has also departed. So it looks like Remy's going to play through the middle. Kennedy, we saw a breakthrough against Barcelona, didn't we, last pre-season in America?
Yeah, just a lot of occasions when we thought perhaps Kennedy might do more. You know, I think he seemed to be one of those that you thought was going to be in the squad or in the starting lineup. It just never seemed to quite happen for whatever reason, we don't know. But yeah, he's a gifted player, wonderful talent, very, very quick. Maybe he'll get more chances this year.
We want to nail down one position, I think. We saw him playing defence and on the wing, didn't we?
Yeah, possibly. I think we'll have to agree. For me, he's more of an attacking midfield player rather than a defender, but...
There's Oscar looking for Moses, who's stayed on.
It's a shame because Oscar's done really well there to close down the fullback. And then his final pass was poor. Maybe after you've done so well like that, just play simple and keep possession.
Chelsea substitutions so far in the game. We'll see if that's it. If anybody else is going to get a run out here in Vienna. A little over 15 minutes to try and rescue something from the match.
It'd be just nice to score, wouldn't it? I think it'd be, probably see it as a decent workout. And if we can get a goal or maybe 2 or 3 attempts that create opportunities that the goalkeeper makes safe. But start to see us peppering the goal a little bit more than we have done. We haven't really tested the goalkeeper in this second half.
Chalobah. Djilobodji looking for Moses. Controlled using his arm.
Well, he did, but I don't think he meant to. I think this is an accident. He's caught him on the chest, and he wanted the ball to go forward down the line, and it's bounced back at him slightly and just hit an arm that's come forward. I don't think that's intentional at all, but it's unlucky. It definitely was handball.
Striving at the replacement goalkeeper, using every available second here. He'll be competing with the Lavotta, who played the first half for the right to be called Rapid's number 1. Matic. Flags are out behind the goal that Asmir Begovic is defending. To see safe standing in a new stadium as well. It's something that Celtic are implementing for this season. The play here is because Tommy, who's just come on, has got a problem.
Rodgers just come down the back of his Achilles, and you would say that should have been a free kick. Just too close. I don't know why he needs to get as tight as he did, but there goes Victor Moses.
Moses using his trickery and his skill. Might break for Kennedy. He and Oscar rather in each other's way.
Slight lack of communication, but again, Victor Moses causing more problems than most. Goes inside, checks back onto his left foot, not frightened to use both feet. Oscar Kennedy getting a total mess. One of them perhaps might have got good contact if they've been on their own.
The substitution for Rapid. We'll have another. Schwab on for a Schwab. Sure, he will have his first 11 in mind for that game against Riyadh here next week. Mike Buskins. It's been a perfect pre-season for Rapid, the way things stand. It'll be 7 wins from 7. The Chelsea change is going to see Bertrand Traore in place of Nemanja Matic. Tough workout for Matic. His only post-season football was 45 minutes for Serbia against Israel. That was back on the 25th of May, so he'll be feeling that 77 minutes.
I'm sure he will. This will give a change in positions for someone like Oscar, maybe. Looks like he's going to be pushing further up. Maybe that's the answer. See if we can get something out of the game. Interesting to see. Again, we talk about the manager and his thoughts. He could be thinking to himself, you know what, this is more than just a fitness game. Maybe we can get something out of it.
Is Aina bending one in? Oh, and it's come back off the post. Goalkeeper completely wrong-footed, not the intention from Olorena, who scored from the halfway line in an under-21s game last season. He's done another fortuitous goal to add to his tally there.
It's a great delivery in there, wasn't he? He did whip this one. Goalkeeper was unsure.
There's still something in this game for Chelsea, depending on how much they are prepared to give to get it.
Well, I think with the subs coming on and the fresh legs, of course, we see the delivery by Ola. I think he's trying to put this into the box and cause problems, but it misses everybody out. You see the goalkeeper totally unsure. Could easily have crept in. Just saying, we're learning about players all the time, but we also need to learn about the manager. I guess with Bertrand Traore on there, it's about trying to score a goal. And I think that's an important factor ongoing. As the season progresses, we might see sort of attacking ploy that we might see late in games, when they're tight fixtures and maybe we're drawing a game. Antonio Conte might be the man who says, well, do you know what, I'm going to go for it. Which is obviously something that will please a lot of fans.
Moses. It's Christian Atsu down there who's going to come on next for Chelsea. There's Djilabodji. Spin, stopped from doing so illegally.
Again, we talk about that tight marking, don't we? Spin and try and get in behind any contact, players go down.
This is the lesser-spotted Christian Atsu coming on. Moses can be very proud of his day's work. He's the man who he's replaced. Atsu, who only made a couple of appearances in the League Cup on loan at Bournemouth in the first half of last season. He had much more success at Malaga from February onwards.
Another player with an opportunity, okay, albeit 10 minutes to impress, but only the manager, but also the Chelsea fans. Again, he's been around a while, but on loan, so to see him in a blue shirt, give him a chance. This is what these games are about.
Lightner for Hoffman, Nuts for Zanto, the latest changes for Rapid. There's Terry. Chalobah just about kept that in. Almost pinched it.
Pace up front now, isn't there? Attacking legs, fresh legs. Just wonder if there's enough to unsettle the Rapid back line.
How would you define this Chelsea formation now then?
Thanks, Matt.
It's almost 4-2-4, isn't it?
It is almost 4-2-4, but it's all about players getting on the ball and just giving them that opportunity with that extra bit of buzz, that extra bit of pace, and just seeing if we can pinch a goal. I don't think the formation would really matter too much at this stage.
Less than 10 minutes for the Blues to find a leveller. Was given away carelessly by Ivanovic. Rapid might be able to put the game to bed here. It's a great chance for the second goal. Cleared off the line, but surely in now, indeed it is. And that should be game, set, match for Rapid Vienna. It's Tommy, the substitute, who eventually turns in the second. It came after Ivanovic's mistake. It's Rapid 2, Chelsea 0.
Well, a simple tap-in finish, wasn't it, in the end? And see, seals the game for Rapid. Slightly disappointing from our point of view, but if you're going to make mistakes in pre-season. We know Branner of old doesn't normally make these sorts of mistakes, but gets his feet a little bit tied up here, and the pass was very, very short. We see them taking full advantage, Rapid. It was a simple tap-in. Have a little bit of luck as well. Branner does well to get back onto the line, but making the block just falls nicely for Tommy. Just say can't miss from there.
Two substitutes linking up to great effect for Rapid. Tommy and Merck, and Tommy finishing it off. Atsu's first feel of the ball. Good direct running from Christian Atsu. He's still going here, Atsu.
He's done well there, hasn't he? Showed good balance, good footwork, both feet. Keeps on going, and obviously looking for a quick reply. We've got ourselves a corner, maybe we can get something from this.
Oscar rolled it short. Shaped it deep to the back post, headed back across goal. Nigel Abogi back with Oscar now. Trying to hassle a mistake out of Schobersberger, who's been pretty much flawless for Rapid. The pace of Kennedy there to make up that ground.
Didn't deserve to get there, did he, for that one? But again, we want to see him using that pace in a more attacking position, but when he needs to, fill in and fill gaps, as we saw there.
Here's Oscar.
Sure, Remy has had a touch of the ball, Matt, has he? You know, and again, being a centre forward who thrives on scoring goals, getting a touch of the ball is very, very difficult if an opportunity comes his way.
This is going to be a debut of sorts for that man with number 99 on his back, Maxi Entrup. Stefan Ur has come on for Thomas Schrammel in a defensive change, and Entrup, the teenager who's just come into Rapid from a second division side, FAC. He replaces Schobersberger, who was impressive, particularly in the first half. So what is the first thing, do you think, or the most pressing thing on Antonio Conte's to-do list to get Chelsea back to where they want to be?
Well, I think first of all giving the lads the confidence to be able to play at their best level and best ability. Obviously players who get slotted into certain positions, it's important that they play where they want to play, where they're going to enjoy playing football, and you'll get the best out of them. But that will come with a bit of time and a bit of work, especially on the training field. And confidence is going to be a big factor.
Kick not properly cleared. Now Chalobah will have the chance to do that. Again, look how quick Kennedy is. It's almost unfair on the player he's up against. Got no chance. Chalobah, he's seen plenty of the ball since his introduction. Oscar. Terry.
We're seeing Oscar playing that deeper role now, aren't we? To that sort of more holding position and getting on the ball and making things happen from a deeper position. This was the back pass that delivered a free ball. And in the end, Tony got the tap in and it was easy for him in the end.
Strength from Cuevas there. Looking here for Djilabodji. There's Traoré. Oscar playing one from left to right. Can Ivanovic keep it in? Not quite. He said he hopes there's a small flame flickering that can eventually grow into a blazing inferno. It's going to take time for that to happen. The fuel for the fire needed, perhaps.
Well, as always, we wonder what his thoughts are, with the result first and foremost, but more about how he feels the game went and how he can influence it a little bit more ongoing.
Let's hope that is precautionary. He didn't seem to have any problem when he was on the pitch, Costa.
No, I don't think so. I think that it's one of those tired, stiff legs, that you need to cool down as quickly as you can. And medical staff will certainly be helping all the players with that. And that's the bit we can see, obviously, because he's come off the pitch. I think after the game's finished, all the players go in the dressing room. You probably see a few more of them with ice packs on different parts of their body, not through injury, just through tiredness.
So of the starters we've mentioned, Costa and Victor Moses, anybody who's come off the bench for Chelsea particularly caught your attention second half?
Well, I think you said the one with Nathaniel Chalobah. I think he's looked bright. He's found some good space. I think he seems to impress at times for me whenever I've seen him, but it's just never been given that opportunity. But I think on the other side of it, I think Bertrand Traoré is another one who, if he could get more of the ball, I think he could impress. I've been disappointed in Romy, the fact that he hasn't got involved in the game, but again, he's a goal scorer. Often we've seen him come on as sub and the only thing he does is put the ball in the back of the net, which is so important. But some of them perhaps haven't been on the pitch long enough to make too much of an impression, but so we'll have to wait and see. The next game, of course, will move us on a little bit further and a little bit fitter.
Good to see Kurt Zouma there with the Chelsea substitutes. He's travelled out to Austria. Obviously he's away from being match ready yet, but he's with the squad, part of it. Kennedy getting down his pace to get him out of trouble. More substitutions than I can count, but I don't think we'll get too much in the way of stoppage time. It's not usually the way in pre-season games. How would you reflect overall on this first 90 minutes under Antonio Conte?
Well, it's disappointing, obviously, not to have scored for me. I think if the opposition get a couple of goals, so be it. Sometimes, you've got different defenders and obviously Begovic in goal. But you know, I'm not too disappointed in the fact that they've scored. Slightly disappointed from my point of view that we haven't done a little bit better in front of goal. Other than that, great work out.
So Rapid Vienna opened their new stadium with a victory. A goal in each half did it for them. Tommy, the substitute, 8 minutes from time, adding to Joel Linton's first half effort 8 minutes in. That's the final score here at the Allianz Stadion. Rapid Vienna 2, Chelsea 0.
Thank you to Matt and thank you to Clive and Frank Sinclair. There we have it. Pre-season match 1 done.
Yeah, obviously.